her funny ability is.
Oh wait, the watch together UI is different, which is odd. It's white now.
Oh, that's just I can change the color.
I see.
I've been doing that for a lot of. Do you guys not pay attention?
I haven't noticed like at all. I've always thought it was just black, or like light gray or some shit. I don't know. It's just.
I change it for like every single session.
I mean, I always look at Owlbear. I don't really ever look at.
I know.
Together,
Speaking
yeah.
of which,
Go.
ink.
Oh, my nose.
You. Actually, you know what?
Hmm.
Why don't you take the ring?
Okay. So, what I think personally would happen here is basically, is this before or after she answers the rope trick?
This is. Lead me in.
Okay.
How does the
So
rope trick work? How do you convince?
essentially, if we're gonna, what's it called? This is like pre everything here. We're still in that ritualistic group. I'm gonna hold my hands out here and say, if you just give me a moment. Listen, I'm not exactly sure how your sight works, but you see something, don't you? Or lack of something, right? And I kind of step forward momentarily.
She nods.
I pull the mortar out, and then I hold it not by the trigger, but rather by the barrel. And I'm just gonna hold it up to the sky. You want to know something between the two of us? It's a very ironic similarity, but we're, at least from what I've seen, we're people that are strong when alone, because the world does not tow us down, but for very, very different reasons. You see all. You see what's going to happen. You see the future, and that's what allows you to be too strong for this world to even hold you down. While I just seek beauty within everything. So even the worst of times is just a beautiful jaunt. I want to show you something. Something different. Something that might snap the monotony of power. Just for a moment. And while the two of us alone may be strong, maybe together we can be weak. Just for once. I kind of like giggle to myself. I take another sort of step around the inner sanctum. My boots would click very sort of damply off in the area. They reverberate throughout as I continue to walk forward just a little bit. And then I clasp my hands, twist as the rope behind me would lift itself into the air, shooting itself upwards into what seems to be a completely normal rope trick. I'd look back at the party, wink, smile, and then I'd... For the sake of roleplay, I'm assuming, would I be able to just almost not grab it, but sort of take it and shift it so that she could just walk in, rather than have to climb up a rope, because that seems kind of...
Easy.
Yeah, redundant, yeah. I shift it, and then step to the side, and almost beckon her in as if I'm like a butler.
The veiled lady takes a few steps. And though her face is veiled, you catch the glimpse of her smile. She steps in.
I go in, and I look at the rest of the party, just kind of like whisper something to myself, which I'll tell them once, they're actually here. And I go in. Now, as soon as I go in, what happens, basically the entirety of what the rope trick would look like currently, at least, it would just be a square room labeled, it would be sort of dark, a little paisley almost, desaturated. Desaturated, that's a great way of saying it. And there'd be 4 chairs. Not just chairs, but they'd be more like couches, each end of the square room. Be all cushiony, and the place would have 4 windows leading out into seemingly a traveling city. However, looking out into the city would reveal itself to be more like a facade rather than anything else. And the very bottom would be a insignia, a book, an open book, with 22 runes inscribed around it. And then I go in, and I step in the very center. I hold the martyr out, and then I raise it to the ceiling.
So, Tom, Owlbear.
Oh yeah, let me click on that real quick. Oh. What the heck? Oh, I clicked on it twice. Shit. Oh, Jesus Christ. To open this on my phone, because I want a dice roller for this specific thing. Something very specific that I want to do. Also, Owlbear is not loading for me right now, which is annoying. Oh, wait. Yeah, there it is. Very nice. So now, basically what happens is I raise the martyr to the air. I look at her, and, well, I mean, I take the mask off, because I probably would have had it on just out of instinct. Truly, look at her. Attempt to pierce through the veil, if that makes any sense. And then I pull the trigger. There wouldn't be any noise, but rather a glowing white eminence would shoot, shine, and spring itself outwards out of the top of the martyr, engulfing everything. And while it may have been instantaneous, to the two of us it would have felt a lot longer than really anything ever. And then we appear in a damp, white, milky zone, completely flat, arid, yet oddly comforting. The entire
that white, you are with another. A woman who you vaguely recognize, though you have not seen her without the veil.
Yeah.
Black hair that falls past her shoulders and curls at its tips as if frayed by humid air. Tanned skin kissed by the sun. A gaze that seems to look not past you this time, but at.
Oi.
Simple red dress, dark that blends with her skin just enough to where it looks as if she's still wearing a dress. A gold brace around her neck and her eyes, which maybe at one point were blue, sit pale and gray. You see scars decorating the eyelids.
Interesting.
She has a calm smile.
Probably describe myself here too, I guess.
Eh.
You'd see ink is not really ink anymore. It's just quill. As he's basically steps forward, not gaining, how do I say this? He would already be accustomed to this place, if that makes sense. He would step forward upwardly out of this sort of milky whiteness just into our general direction. And then you'd have this very, this nice, like, tanned purple skin. His horns, while short and relatively stubby, are still quite there, and they're very, almost rough looking. His hair held back into a ponytail as he looks forward with a pair of rounded glasses. His eyes, they're brown. He has brown pupils. They're deep, very hazily, as his nose is like slanted, his chin, very, very simple. He has a very, very smooth looking face. And the stubble that he would have had is not there. He's a very clean shaven man. He seems to be wearing what looks to be a mix of laboratory equipment and general business casual. Or at least what business casual would have been. Dress pants, loafers, nice socks, and a button-up that is, well, still works. As he walks forward, you hear the jingle of keys and the clicking of minor baubles and trinkets as they sit in a pouch left behind just directly above his, well, his butt. Remnants of what he once was, an engineer. He'd lift his left hand and bring it to his mouth, and then he'd clear his throat entirely. Do you recognize me?
Though our forms may have changed, our minds have not.
True. I just find myself with a little more, I gotta like push and move out forward my hand a little more control over my impulses and whatnot. Say, and then I'm gonna point behind her, and then she notice a chair. Sorry, 2 chairs, and then 1 table just appear, along with what looks to be a pole. A very, very simple looking pole appear on it. Just gonna be like right here. I'll just draw out like this. Oh wait, I can't. Hold on. Well, I'll just draw that to like signify it. That would be where it would be. You want to take a seat?
Do you?
Sure. Love to. Oh my. Uh-oh. Local scene wasn't found. Oh, well, there, it's back. It's back now. Anyways. I'd go down and I'd go and take a seat and I'd just wait.
She would join you at the table.
Oh my. Take a deep breath and then I just gotta look at her. Say. This is different. Very different, isn't it? Right? I'd assume it's...
Yeah. It's been quite a while.
It's a little freeing, honestly. These past few days have tampered me with so much. So much. It's like an iron. It's been cast upon me. It's been quite brutal, honestly. I don't know how I find strength within myself to move forward. There's just so much.
The world has a funny way of testing its people.
True. It's quite true. Say, I'm gonna grab the stick for a moment, and then the stick itself would be about 3 feet long. And then I hold it and I just roll it over to her. This realm is mine. Or technically mine.
I see that.
Hold this, please. I think it's a little primitive, yes, but one of the best ways to show who really speaking is the one who holds the stick. Read that in a book once.
Simple game.
Yeah.
A simple conversation. And she extends her hand to take it.
Please. Everyone's plagued by things, you know? Every single person in this world. There's no such thing as someone who has an easy life, right?
Alright.
This world was designed to meld with that cycle of pain. If you wish to show me something, I'd love to see it. Please. Now that you're technically free from the confines of reality, show me something that would have given you solace. Solace before everything. I want to know. Could be a person, you know, a place, a drink.
She smiles. It's been so long since someone asked me that. And yet, it seems rude. Me of things. Such things. before sharing yourself. And she passes you the stick.
Huh.
Why don't I learn from you?
Alright. Well, let me send you somewhere. And, okay. This is gonna be me, by the way, Matt, just out of here. I'm just gonna run with this. Okay?
Go for it.
You gotta... This is gonna be... I'm just gonna fly with this. Okay, so essentially, it'd be nice, though, if we could pause the theme. I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna stand up, and I'm gonna clasp my hands. And essentially what happened was a veil, ironically, a veil of bright red crimson would just whoosh, kind of like zoom around her, and then instantaneously, as it falls, hits the ground, the light semblance of jazz music would start. There'd be a moving of people, in and out, constant dancers everywhere, people wearing masks, as a grand, grand hall, one of beauty, one of royalty and nobility, surrounds her. Pillars of beautiful marble autumn surround themselves everywhere as people walk, grabbing hors d'oeuvres, talking, continually speaking about how great this drink is or how awful that casualry was. As Quill would stand in front of her, in a different outfit, one of that same crimson, one with a tie, and one where he's wearing half of his own mask, as he looks at her, with quite a beautiful jaunt in his one eye that he can see, as he would smile and point towards the red carpets in the beautiful establishment. I'm gonna go into YouTube and look something up real quick.
Okay. Quite the place.
There we go. Alright. I'm just gonna what's it called? This right here, this works because it's like a royalty free thing. If you could cue this into
You can put it in.
oh, I don't know how to put it in on Watch Together. I'm not actually sure. I've never really used the site properly, but I don't know. I guess just like a simple thing. Well then. You see, it's quite a magical experience. And I start to like sort of dance and jaunt around the area as I just look around. Ah, it's subtle yet beautiful. Every single person is just perfect. Just perfect. And as I move around, I'd be grabbing, like, kind of jumping around, grabbing hors d'oeuvres, looking at people, inciting conversation with these people that just seem to have appeared. A woman of short stature, a man of seemingly overly tall stature, Goliath Butler. Beautiful, beautiful, well-dressed lady. Many, many nobles, and even the butlers, as I just run around, talk to them, ask them about their lives, as I attempt to almost, not drag, but beckon forcefully for Madame Varys to come with me.
She walks with you. And
You see.
surprisingly, she seems to have been dressed for an occasion like this. Though not veiled like she normally would be. The red dress blends rather well with the
whole motif. It's great.
experience.
Oh, it's just beautiful, isn't it? And I pull a book out of my pocket. An unscribed book, completely blank, and there's nothing upon it. As I open it to what seemingly looks like a random page, and I flip around and I just tap on a word. You see, and as I point to it, it reads out exactly what I'm going to say next. Oh, that's just out of character. So, you see, this book here transcribes everything that's going to happen here. And seemingly everything. It's, we'll call it a mimic. How about that? It's a mimic of fate. As it just shines and dances. I assume you'd be very familiar with things like this, eh? Reading books that are pretty good for your future. Follow me. As I run outwards and seemingly out of nowhere, a balcony would form, as if it's already been there, but neither of us would have noticed it. It's a bit peculiar, as the plane seems to shift, so that the fiction becomes fact. As I go out and just kind of watch out at the starry night sky, there'd be a city much off into the skyline, along with roads, pastures, beautiful, beautiful land, as the smell of wine and genuine conversation holds itself and wavers in the air. Very slightly humid, as it seems to be the very start of summer, as there's a light beauty that entrances itself as stars shoot over the sky. The music itself would remain very prevalent as we go out, and a different band would continue the very same tune that continues to interact with all of us. You know, there's a poetry, real beauty to all this, right?
Quite the space you've created for us.
Oh, I'd like to believe this isn't much of a creation, you know? When I was young, I'll give you a little bit of context. I used to write. It was my dream, you know? My father was an owner of a relatively famous bibliothèque, along with my mother being a seamstress. She always used to create the most beautiful tapestries in her free time. If you put two and two together, I loved the world of fiction. I wrote so much, just so I could see the magic, the beauty, as I hold my hands upwards. Ooh, waiter. And I grab a drink. 2 drinks. I'd hand one over to her.
She takes it.
Clink. Cheers.
Cheers.
And I just take a sip. If she decides to drink it, I could describe how it would taste.
She'll drink.
The biggest way to describe it is a citrus verbena. It is a very sort of darkened, but almost perfectly fermented sour undertone as it fizzes, dances in her mouth. Well, our mouths. It goes down very smoothly, but it has a very odd feeling. It feels unfinished. If unfinished were a word to describe a drink.
She smiles. Actually, she seems to smile in a way that seems reminiscent. And takes a deep breath, more smelling the citrusy nature of the drink than really tasting it.
Does it remind you of something?
It does. Citrus, it's the interesting fruit. You find one in every climate.
True. Sounds perfect for people like us, huh? Oh. Say.
So may I ask why you show me this elaborate fiction?
Huh?
What does it mean?
Doesn't need to mean anything, honestly. To me, I'm showing you how I see the world. There's beauty to be
In a
found.
realm of color and jazz.
Oh, trust me, it gets much worse. I think we both know that. But this is only the start, I assure you. Things will get a lot more interesting from here on, and as I do that, I pull the book out, and I point the very final end of my sentence out, as there's a dot that arises. Suddenly, and then I'd show this to her, in parentheses in the book it would say, a crowd starts to gather around the central circle within this outer area. People start to dance as the music intensifies ever so slightly. The drum lines get a little more aggressive. The jazz becomes a lot more alive as people start to move in and out. And suddenly, a group of 2, a man and a man, both seem to very intensively and aggressively dance within the center, hogging the spotlight. Both masked fellows, one blue, one red, seemingly an elf and a human, as they move back and forth, almost skating around the area as they garner all the attention within the plot. And then I cut it off. I plant my finger directly on that point. You know, stories don't have to end like this, right? You want to know the greatest part about fiction? As I start to go off script, I don't say what the book says at this point. I close it. Well, do you? You want to know?
Even if I said no, you'd still tell me.
still good at predicting things. Fiction never has to end the way the book says it. You can always try your best to create your own ending. Change fate, if I may, right? And I start to back up slowly into the crowd, and I hold my left hand outwards towards her. Takes two to tango, you know. So I giggled to myself very lightly, thinking almost.
He takes a step and offers her hand.
Yeah.
Who would I be to say no?
I take
She
it.
joins you.
Yeah. And we start to just go at it. Now, Matt, this is something that I had an idea for these two people. And this is sort of reinforcing the theme of fiction and its power, essentially, right? Could I ask you to roll a performance check for her? Well, I also roll, yes. Because I have both of these gentlemen within the center. This is a test of charisma. If both of us can beat a DC 30, as in, well, both of our numbers together, beat, well, a 30. Actually, I'll raise it, 32.
I will say she does have a decently high performance.
35. We'll up to 35. If we can beat that number, then we're now the stars of the show. And the tale will change. Or we lose and fate continues to spin its way. Huh?
Tell me your role.
Okay. I'm gonna roll performance. That is terrible. That's a 14. You know what? I'm gonna use inspiration, because fuck it. This is awesome. I'm really excited for this. Who cares? We're gonna use inspiration for this. Oh yeah, that turns into a 31. That turns... It's
very fitting sense. She rolls a natural 20.
Yes!
Making it a 41.
Oh my god, yes!
As even with your skill, she takes you by the hand and without a moment's hesitation, beating the DC you set alone, she spins you into the center.
My!
And catches you with her arm extended. But if we are to tango, I would prefer the spotlight be on us. At least for once. And she pulls you in. It's a bit nice after spending so many years in the shadows manipulating things.
Madam, you have class.
And you have given me a stage.
And then we tango. We dance. I feel like it'd be...
She is skilled. Beyond just being good. She moves fluidly. Her design has always been very much inspired by a belly dancer. And that much is reflected. The skill, the provocativeness of her movements. That even in this false space draws eyes to her. In a bit of a contrast to the way you've seen her, where she's ahead, but never wanting to be in the spotlight. And you see, beyond the calm smile she normally has, you see genuine smile. She seems to purely just enjoy dancing. To the point that she seems to forget what's going on. Even if for a moment.
Wow, you're good. You're really good.
Years. You're not too bad yourself.
You know, a lot of people used to tell me I had 2 left feet. Back before I could have given myself 2 left feet.
Well, with 2 left feet, all you have to do is move in that direction, and she spins you again.
Woo.
Catching you in a sort of dip. But I believe you wanted to know about me.
There's a little more, though, I do wish. If you wish to take turns, I'd love to hand you the stick. Please.
I suppose it's my turn.
And I lift myself up, and I kind of just whip the stick out. I'd probably just pull it out of essentially my back pocket, and just like whoop, hand it over and just hold it out politely.
Give me 1 second.
Okay.
You pick yourself up, and in a very beautifully fluid motion, she takes the stick from your hand. And as the drums were swelling in the music where you were tangling, motherfucker, let me play the song. Oh, of course it doesn't work. Never fucking. Of course, Watch Together just hates me.
Just wait, send just like DM it to me or something. I'll listen to it. Or it would be cooler if Watch Together. Hold up. Synchronize videos from any website. Watch Together browser extension. Get. Add extension. Alright, sweet.
Oh, that's
Wait.
why I didn't do it.
I'm gonna refresh the page after I added that. I'll see what happens. Oh. No way associated open. Oh.
It's fine. Just use the link I sent.
Okay.
As
I'll make rid of this.
the drums swell in a different sense. Energy fills the space as the lights from the outside go, and you hear the of lights shutting. Sort of cinematic shut off of lights, and then a click as you're now in a space not too different from the one you showed. Not a ballroom, but a beautiful stage lined of bronze, gold, and what looks to be a beautiful sandstone. You can feel the humidity of what you can assume is calcium. Blues and greens hang from the ceiling, in stark contrast to the red of the woman who dances on stage. Younger than the woman you've seen, though still her, as she spins, moving her hips and body in ways that accentuate the chains and gold she wears. The veil across her nose not covering her entire face. Her eyes still the gray, but you can see the life behind them. As her hair spins as she does. The baggy but revealing clothing, accentuating the beauty of the woman in front of you. And as you find yourself at the forefront of the crowd who watch in earnest of dragon kin, many who you have seen in Calcium, though many others you did not see in your time, humans, elves, dwarves, halflings. There's even a few odd animal folk, Lionin, Tabaxi.
Rabbit folk too. Oh.
As she just spins and enjoys herself. And you watch for you, you may not know, lost in her performance, as lights begin to fill, as if magic dancing across your eyes, moving with her.
Wow.
Seems the lights even bend with her movements. As you meet her eyes, and she smiles behind the veil, her face visible, the beauty she shows more vibrant. And the music calms.
This is
She steps forward off the stage to join you.
I'd like to assume that I would be wearing clothing now that is a little more fitting for this. I'd also be wearing more Calcine-esque clothing, which I'm assuming is sort of like pseudo-Egyptian, I guess.
Yes,
Just Egyptian,
pseudo-Egyptian.
Baggy pants.
Egyptian and Greek.
Yeah. That's
Sort of
such a...
toga-esque.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I'd be wearing like a toga and like baggy pants and like sandals and stuff. You know, exotic really fits you.
It was what I was born into.
Wow. Yeah, you're good at this.
Well, I wasn't always in charge.
Huh.
I found myself more freedom in movement. And she looks around as you see another group of women go onto stage, though not as enchantingly eye-catching as her. They still sway the crowd. This place was nice. The Eye of the Horde.
Wow. I mean,
The crown jewel of Calcine.
yeah.
Still exists. Even today.
You seem, well, I don't think it takes a genius to say that you seem remorseful.
Well, I suppose. And Tom, if you would switch back to watch together.
Okay. Let me pause this real quick. There we go.
In a way. I found my place. Not here, but on the throne. Overlooking the city from a glass ball in the sky. I do miss this place. The singing, the dancing. The smell of alcohol and smoke that lingered on your hair, no matter how many times you showered.
That's nice.
Truly was the crown of the horde we call Calcine. People from all over the desert would come, even those beyond. And you see she gestures. Long before Her Majesty was taken.
Whom?
Those beyond the heavens would join us here. You see a man with wings, solar, sitting with another angel, and a horned figure who you recognize as a devil.
Huh.
And they enjoy drinks together. A time forgotten. A place much less remembered. It was not peaceful, but it was here.
Wow.
The world tends to look at everything as hectic hell, escape of endless fires. Problem with human minds, or mortal minds, as we all look forward. Suppose it's a benefit of one of the gifts I gained. I can remember the past even more clearly than I see the future.
Do you miss this?
Of course. But again, time passes and things change. My place was decided long before I even picked up my veil.
You're the only one that gets to choose where you decide to place your period. I pull the book out once more.
She puts her hand on the book. As much as I would love for that to be the case, not a single being writes their own story. It's not how it works. despite the fact that I can see everything. I have sight, past, future, and present.
I'd like to beg to differ. Call it naivete, but I want to
Ideally
believe.
so.
I'd want to believe that nobody in this world is held by the confines of fate. People are allowed to make their own decisions. They're allowed to change their stories. They can dance their dance and take that spotlight. It just takes two to tango. It's not over.
Wise words, but words of someone who has not been around for long. Think, how long ago do you think this was?
I look over. I am unsure.
Near millennia. The world itself has forgotten this place. And she gestures to the stage, and you can see, looking closely, there are scrapes, notches in the granite, or the stone. Of the heels that the dancers wear. Even the stone is forgotten. And she runs her hands across some of the grooves. But it's not bad to have a story. You think we write our stories, but we do not. We live them. It's a difference.
True.
We make our own decisions, yes. But all those decisions lead to one place. Our end. Whether that be leaning on a sun chair on the moon. Or the throne you'd never expect yourself to sit on. You have your own decisions.
There's just one more thing I'd like to show you. If you'd mind.
She passes the stick.
I take a deep breath, and then I'm gonna, hold up. Okay, Matt, if you could cue this song. This would be good. This would be very good. Try to keep your head on, alright? I'm gonna show you quite a bit in relatively rapid succession. Because I feel like showing you something would be a lot easier than, well, changing it. Get familiar with this, though. And I'm gonna hold out to her what appears to be a coin. One side has a skull upon it, and the other side has a set of 2 wings. Let me start this at the very beginning, though. I'm gonna hold my hand upwards and clasp it. The entire place would shift, change, gently but slowly fade, as we'd find ourselves within what seems to be a hospital, a rural hospital. The place, painted pitch white, has the sense of summer air flowing in and out through it. You can hear bees and crickets chirp off in the distance as people walk up and down the hallways relatively casually. A light wind kicks upwards, filling both of us with the smell of summer, the smell of beauty in plains, as you hear a light sobbing coming in from the room directly behind the both of us. I'd be dressed in a much whiter outfit now.
As if a doctor.
Close-ish. You can assume.
She bears a similar dress, though a mix between her more regal figure the dress long and covering, and the dancer's uniform she seemed to wear, the veils that show off her arms and her stomach.
Yeah. I stand up, and I get up very slowly. As I start to approach that dreaded room, I walk down the hall, and I ask her to come with me. That very moment, our footsteps would be undeniably loud, yet for them being so quiet, as we kick throughout the place. The floor polished quite well, yet our movements seem to muddy it, change it. It's almost as if people like us, bringers of life, are supposed to be harbingers of bad news. As we continue forward, I pull the book out once more, and I read it. If she would... Okay. Can you tell... Okay. Her passive perception is hilariously high.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just going to assume that. So she would notice the words...
The 31.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, okay, is it above, like, an 18? Yeah, Jesus. She would notice upon the book, she would see the two words, last rites, beyond, and now. I wouldn't say them, I would just close the book. And then I pull the coin out, and I open the door, and I look at her. A silent but solemn look in my face. And I walk in. Within the room, you'd see a single bed in the very center, covered in white. An old, very drained-looking woman would sit right there in that bed, unconscious, seemingly, lying down as runes inscribed around the bed seem to struggle to keep her alive, afloat, as what looks to be a family sits around. It seems to be an older gentleman, an older lady, 3 seemingly young adults, and 1 very small child. As they all stand around and watch, they look. All the men seem confused. The older lady seems to be crying. And that tiny child, so full of life, seems to be holding her decrepit hand. As his soft, stubby, small fingers coarse and clash with the veiny gauntness of her life. The window directly to the right of us would be open, and there'd be a light gust continually pushing in, almost lulling us, as a scent of what seems to be life would draw in. There's an awkward warmth amongst this room as I would step further inwards, as none of them would seem to notice either of us. As we breathe this air in, it seems to be weirdly beautiful, weirdly somber, yet still perfect. Looking out the window, you'd see nothing but green grass, lit by a kind, beautiful sky, and a warm, cherishing sun. I look back to her. Every decision we make is just another coin flip, you know? I pulled this large coin out, and the skull, inscribed now, would be a little more prominent, while the wings would seem to be drying out and losing their feathers.
Thomas?
At her with just a minor semblance of sorrow upon my face. And then I get a bit closer to the old woman. You'd notice her opening her eyes ever so slightly, just to look at the people around her. Look at the people she cherished and loved. Look at her past and present and future all at once. And there wouldn't be a smile on her face, nor would there be a frown. But a beautiful sense of true irony. And as I look back to the veiled lady, as I kind of hold my hand out and point to her, I flipped the coin. It would spin rapidly, shooting itself out and out through the air, as it seemed to pronounce itself more than almost anything else in this room. And it would hit my hand, and I conceal it instantaneously. Call it.
Heads.
I move my hand off of it. The wings are on top. And I look back over to the old woman, and she starts to move, ever so slightly. She shifts herself in her bed, as she seems to take a seat upwards, as the rest of the family beckon, push themselves around the bed. As they hold on, they grasp. Tears flow, smiles grow, and birds continue to chirp outside of the building, as I stand there and just watch.
Been long since I have guessed wrong.
Maybe there is happiness there for all of us, you know? Maybe.
You're an idealist, my friend.
Yeah. I've always been one.
She extends her hand. Do you mind if I take the coin? And I do the same to you.
I give it to her. Solemnly.
She does ask if she can have the stick as well.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I give it to her. It's like a given.
I just assume the coin is the stick. And
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, yeah.
And the room changes. Not to any place specific. No. Let me rephrase. Not to a place you recognize, but you know something stands here. Beautiful as it is. Sense of wonder as you stand in the ruins of a gray building. No furnishings, but a wooden floor strewn with ash. Beautiful tree with pink blossoms sprouts from its center. On an island, in the middle of a sea that reflects every star in the bright blue sky, as you see both sun and moon. Otherwise clear, hard to differentiate what is water and what is sky, save for the reflection, the gentle ripple. As she stands, and this time she wears neither a dancer's robes or a monarch's crown, but a simple black dress. A hood pulled down, simple gold design, and you can see it reflects the sun as she looks away from you, her black hair obscuring her face, and she turns. Her eyes now wide, or as wide as they get, the scars now seen in their full likeness, as if she had been struck by lightning in the eye. She smiles.
I kind of look at her. It's like
she flips the coin.
Oh, it is.
And as it seems to almost slowly flow in the air. and as it spins slowly, it begins to descend. Call it.
See, Quill, also wearing a relatively simple outfit at this point. He'd wipe a tear from his eye. Do we have to?
Like I said, every decision, or like you said, mind me, that every decision is a coin flip.
Guess there's no use talking my way out of a 50-50, eh? I want to believe
Even I cannot see what will happen.
I want to believe in happy endings. Heads.
Heads?
Mm-hmm. He'd sort of be like, at this point, he'd be sort of almost like biting his bottom lip, wincing out of pain as he'd take a couple steps forward towards her.
She puts her hand up, catches it, and closes it. Do you know what this place is?
No, honestly, no. It feels like a dream. Heaven, almost.
It's the end. Everyone's is slightly different. But she turns, and you see, as she does, in the reflection of the water, beautiful white pillars reach upwards, but not just as reflections. They show above the water as well. Thousands of them that shimmer in a white gold.
At this point,
Passing through the island. Passing through the island, just below your feet, is a bridge that looks like it's made of glass. Its reflection seemingly thousands of feet below it. This is what we call the in-between. Purgatory, the well of souls.
Life and death.
No. It's a bridge, but it is not either. It is not both. It is just peace.
Yeah.
The only true place in all of existence that no being is unequal. Something truly beautiful about our world is that no matter what side of the coin faces up and what kisses my hand, we all end here, though slightly different. Each and every one of us will stand on this bridge, walk it, whether that be today, tomorrow, or a millennia from now.
Probably just look at her with the most solemn smile could probably possibly muster. Yeah. Really, makes you appreciate life, huh?
It makes you appreciate the equality of it.
True.
There's no such thing as injustice, my friend. Only people. And that may sound ideal, but what have we not been spouting but that?
True. I put my hands on my head for a moment. Just gonna rub my temples. I love this world so much. You know, I don't know if you could garner that, but I really do. Frankly, that's the only thing I've felt ever since I've been changed. Love for everything. Every single bullet I fire. every single person I've met, every grain or handful of dirt that I've stepped on. Love. It's the only thing that's called out to me. It's the only thing that's embraced the darkness of night. I love this world. I love these people. I love the hand. I love myself. I love you. I love everything. To see that balance of lawful chaos get disrupted, to see it tilt, to remove the neutrality, it's the worst thing that I think could ever happen. Well, we both are very different people with a large gap in experience. I've never felt as if I had so much in common.
Holds up her hand, still clasped around the coin, where neither of you have seen the face.
Show me. Please. Show us.
She opens her hand, and the face and the space fades as you stand in the ritual chamber. The chanting swells, the energy of mana racking not just your mind, but your body. As you stand amidst your friends, before you had even cast your spell, though you feel the energy expended lost, she stands there, their hand clasped in the same way she had, opening in the same motion she had. She spins a coin in her fingers, without changing the face, and you see tails.
What a shame.
And we pick this up in about half an hour to an hour.
Yeah, I gotta end the stream so I can get the VOD. That was great. That was so fucking awesome. Holy shit.
How many inspiration do you have currently?
I think oh shit, I forgot. I think I had 2, but I used one, so I think 1. I have 1 now.
Bring yourself to 3.
Nice. This is awesome.
Additionally, once campaign 2 begins, you start with 3.
Nice. That's pretty great. Holy shit.
It's actually been given, Dom and Jordan have 1 for next campaign.
Well, damn. Sweet. Yeah. Fuck, this is great. This is awesome. I got some cool-ass context. I got some great moments. Oh, dude. So satisfying. Did I click the end? Alright, stop streaming. Goodbye.